And then we get into the iTind and the Optlume, which I think are unique because they're independent of anyone's hands, skills, age, whatever. So if you put an iTind in, if you inflate what I call the turbo, the transurethral radial dilating balloon opening of the prostate, as long as you have 3 fingers, 1 eye, and something to hold the device to rotate, you will deliver the same outcomes independent of one another. And that's different than the other 2 techniques. No heat, and our goal here is really to raise the roof. We're staying away from the floor where all the important areas are, the trigone, the ejaculatory duct, and we're making 9-foot ceilings into 20-foot ceilings. And if you remember back in your days of physics, it's called Pasteur's law, which is the resistance of any tube is its length over radius squared. So within the seconds or days, we're increasing that height, kind of like a zipper on your suitcase. If you want to get something at the bottom of your bag, you can drill a hole in the center of it, or you can open the zipper. And if you open the zipper a couple of inches, less resistance. And so that's what we're seeing here is the ultrasound view of the Optlume fully inflated. This is during an office setting that we do our procedures in, and you're just inflating that balloon up to 4 atmospheres for 10 minutes. So again, the iTind temporary, it's a nitinol device that kind of looks like a corkscrew that you hold your champagne bottle on. It's got 3 stents, one at 12, 5, and 7, like a TUIP. And I call it the shepherd's hook. I used to be a lifeguard, so that was my thinking. When you're looking at the Very, you watch the shepherd's hook pop over, and you're done. And you leave a string out, and you take it out in a week or 5 days. So the premise there is a slower necrosis, let's say, of the tissues, mainly at the 12 o'clock incision. And what we're seeing there are the improvements across the board. So I call it the reproducibility factor. If I have my dad here and I send him to everyone here in the audience to have a TURP, chances are he's going to have very different TURPs. If you have a hole-up, there's only one way to do hole-up. You're going to get the same results. But with, again, to these technologies, that's something that we don't really factor in, is that are we all delivering the same outcomes? And I think that's one of the things that we have with iTind and the Optlume. So you're really creating that anterior commissurotomy, and you're getting the split. So I'll show you this, what that looks like. You don't see as much at the bladder neck, because I think it's just, you can't really rip muscle as well as you can rip a sponge. So that's really what the adenoma is. You'll get some mucosal venous bleeding, and you'll see that, I always say, like, can you find the commissurotomy? I'll squeeze the bag, I'll try and get a view here, but you can see it on ultrasound that we got to the capsule. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this awake patient to demonstrate that. But the key finding here is that if you look down below, you're going to see that the complete floor from the bladder neck to the verumontanum is untouched. And that's really the beam here. That's where that, I call it the prostate trigone, the most sensitive part of the bladder and the prostate are, the nerve endings are. We can mitigate that and keep that structure intact. We don't have any impact on ejaculation. So again, another view just of the ultrasound. With this inflated, we're waiting 10 minutes, deflating,